Beyond the Doc, the podcast that goes beyond documentaries.
Today on Beyond the Doc, we are jumping into an incredible story that Bangkok-based filmmaker Stephane Lambert is about to bring to the screens. Soul Sisters, an history of family fame and fortune. A deep dive in one of Southeast Asia's most intriguing family drama. The exotic glitters of Thailand and Myanmar show business, and the behind-the-scenes of fortune-telling, topped by massive money flows. It's all about this woman who they say could literally see the future and a huge mystery she left behind. So get this, they called her E.T., and no, it's not because she was some kind of alien. But well, when you hear about her powers, you'll see why it felt like she might as well have been from another world.
This wasn't your average fortune teller. Her clients, just some of the most powerful people in all of Asia. A single whisper from her one prediction, and she could shape political careers, alter the course of big businesses. And then, just like that, the whispers stopped. A simple news report flashed across the screen, announcing the end of an era. It seemed like the whole phenomenon was just over. But was it really? And that right there, that's the big question we're tackling today. Because with E.T.'s death, a whole new story started to bubble up. And this one was way more complicated. It became a battle not just for her money, but for her entire legacy. So okay, let's really get into it. So to really get a handle on the mystery that came after she died, you first have to understand just how huge your influence was. I mean, this wasn't just some sad family affair. Her death was a genuine international event. Just look at who was coming to see her. We're not talking about your average person off the street. No. We're talking about the absolute top tier of society. Prime ministers, presidents like the actual Prime Minister of Thailand, the former president of Myanmar. Add to that a whole list of celebrities, powerful politicians, business type. They all made the pilgrimage to see her, convinced she held the keys to their future. So who was she really?
Beyond the Doc.
Her name was Chewy Win, or E.T., and she had these physical disabilities that made it really hard for her to speak or even walk. But her real power? That was all in her mind. And she had this signature move, right? The one thing that just blew everyone away, even the biggest skeptics, and totally cemented her legend. You ready for this? She could tell you without ever seeing it the exact serial number on a banknote tucked away deep inside your wallet. You know, behind every legend, there's always someone working in the shadows, right? For E.T., that person was her sister, T.T. Win, or T.T. For more than 30 years, T.T. was everything to her. She was her voice, her translator, her protector, her constant companion. You can just picture the dynamic, can't you? E.T. was the main event, the silent genius in the spotlight. And then there is T.T., the crucial person in the background, translating, managing, basically running the whole show. They weren't just sisters, they were like two halves of the same person. But after E.T. passed away, that whole dynamic, the whole story, it all got thrown up in the air. And then after her sister's death, T.T. suddenly comes forward and says, "Hey, I have these powers too." So naturally, the big question on everyone's mind was, okay, when? When did you get these powers? And man, depending on who you talk to, the answer is all over the map. Okay, let's just look at the different stories here. T.T. herself, she says, "I got the power 5 years before my sister passed." Then you've got this Thai filmmaker, Kun Ta, who says nope, E.T. passed the power to her 3 years before she died. Then Kun Ping, their booking agent for Thailand, comes in and says, nah, they both had the power since they were born. And to top it all off, Scipio, E.T.'s nephew, T.T.'s son, says the family noticed it a long time ago, but basically kept it a secret to keep the spotlight on E.T. So what's the takeaway? Nobody's story matches, not even close.
Beyond the dock.
In this whole clash over whose truth is the truth, it really explodes around this Thai drama that was made about E.T.'s life before she passed away. It was supposed to be this beautiful tribute, but instead it turned into another front in this messy family battle over the story. So on one side you have the filmmaker Kun Ta, and he's adamant. He says he did everything by the book to get the story right. He even sent his writer to go live with the family for almost a month, just interviewing everybody to make absolutely sure the television series was accurate. And then you hear from TT, and it's a totally different story. She basically dismisses the movie, saying it was not a success, that it didn't reach enough people, and get this, she says she's going to remake it herself one day to do it justice. I mean, that's a pretty clear slap in the face to the filmmaker's version of events, and it's wild. Their memories of the exact same project could not be more different. Kun Ta remembers it being this great, smooth process. The family approved everything he says. They were happy. They even gave him E.T.'s real clothes for the actress to wear. TT remembers it as this exhausting nightmare that just drained her. She even claims she had to pour her own money into it just to help. It's like two people, one project, two totally separate universes. But wait, the story doesn't just stop with the two sisters. This whole question of legacy, it's now trickling down to the next generation.
Beyond the dock.
So, we need to talk about TT's son CPO, because his own journey to fame is, well, it's a whole other crazy story. Okay, so CPO backstory is just incredibly dramatic. He's very open about it. He says he was a naughty kid, got addicted to drugs. It all came to a head when he had this massive overdose so bad that when his mom TT saw him, she had a heart attack from the shock. They both end up in the hospital. So there he is at rock bottom, and his auntie T comes to his hospital bed and makes this insane prophecy. You are going to be famous one day. And wouldn't you know it, against all odds it came true. He became a celebrity, a famous actor, and a successful entrepreneur. And you know what makes that prophecy even crazier? According to CPO, his own mum didn't buy it for a second. I mean, can you blame her? She's looking at her 20-year-old or so son lying in a hospital bed after an overdose, and she's thinking, famous? Famous for what? For being naughty. That doubt, that initial disbelief, it just makes his eventual success feel that much more like destiny. But maybe we're looking at this all wrong. Maybe this story isn't really about psychic powers, or who's famous, or who's right. Maybe the family's real power, their true legacy, is something else entirely. It's in the absolutely mind-boggling amount of money they just give away. And this, to me, is where the story takes its most stunning turn. The family says that a whopping 80% of their income, and that's from everything, the fortune-telling, their businesses, all of it, 80% goes straight to charity. They only keep 20% for themselves. I mean, think about that. That's a way of handling money that you almost never hear about. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, CPO mentioned one single project, just one, building a monastery.
Beyond the dock.
The family donated $700,000 to it. That's not just spare change, you know. That is a massive life-changing amount of. And their charity work isn't just focused on one thing, it's everywhere. They started the E.T. hospital to give people free eye surgery that was inspired by E.T.'s own struggles with her sight. They build schools for monks, temples in poor communities way out in the middle of nowhere. They put together these huge food donation drives that feed thousands of people at a time. It's constant, and it's real. And this quote from CPO, it just perfectly flips the whole script on their story. He says, "Look, in Myanmar, our family's net worth puts us somewhere in the top 20, but the amount we donate, that's more than anyone in the top 20. They're not defining themselves by what they have. They're defining themselves by what they give away."
Beyond the dock.
So it leaves us with this final question. After all the he said, she said, all the drama and conflicting stories, what is the real legacy here? Is it the mysterious, maybe even supernatural power to see the future? Or is it the very real, very tangible power to change the present for thousands of people through just incredible generosity? Which power is greater? Was it the fame or the fate? That's something to chew on.
And that's it for this episode of Beyond the Doc, the Point of View series. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more on documentaries and soon, more insights on Soul Sisters, the upcoming documentary revealing a never-seen-before Myanmar and disturbing facets of Asian culture.
Beyond the Doc, the podcast that goes beyond documentaries.